Have you ever been in a performance review and, you're just struggling to find the perfect word for your manager's style? Or maybe you were trying to give feedback, but you couldn't quite get it to sound professional. Well, using precise language is a superpower in the business world. And today, we're going to build that superpower, one word at a time.
Just think about it for a second. What words pop into your head? Maybe supportive, decisive, organized? Or, on the other hand, maybe it's disorganized, indecisive, unsupportive. The words we choose paint a really powerful picture, and that is exactly what we're going to master today. So here's our game plan. First, we'll see why just one word can make all the difference. Then, we'll build a solid foundation of positive traits, learn a fantastic trick with prefixes to create their opposites, and finally, figure out how to name those qualities with nouns. By the end of this, you're going to have a complete system. Okay, so let's jump right in. Why does this level of precision even matter? Well, because in a professional setting, the specific words you use can literally define a person's reputation, and of course, your own credibility. Just take these two words. A leader who is decisive is seen as strong, confident, totally effective. But a leader who is indecisive, they might be seen as weak, hesitant, or maybe even incapable. See what I mean? It's the same basic quality, decision-making, but one tiny little prefix, in, completely flips the script on the meaning and how they're perceived. All right, so to build our vocabulary toolkit, we've got to have a strong base. Let's start with the core positive traits. The words we use to describe managers and colleagues we actually admire. And believe it or not, our entire system for today comes from this one simple table. What's so cool about it is how it shows that positive words, their negative opposites, and the names for those qualities are all connected. This table is basically our blueprint. And here they are, our building blocks. These are all the positive adjectives from that first column of our guide. You probably recognize most of them: efficient, supportive, competent. These are the qualities we're all looking for in a great leader. So now, let's learn how to talk about their opposites.
Okay, this is my favorite part. This is the most powerful part of this whole system. We're about to learn how to take all those great positive words we just saw and, with one simple trick, create their negative opposites. The secret? It's all about prefixes.
So what even is a prefix? It's super simple. It's just a few letters like in, on, or dis that we tack onto the front of a word to completely change its meaning, usually to make it negative. It's an incredibly efficient way to grow your vocabulary. Let's see this thing in action. Take a look at the prefix in. You attach it to competent, and you get incompetent. Attach it to decisive, you get indecisive. It's a simple, repeatable pattern, so you're not just learning one new word, you're learning a rule that helps you create a ton of them. And this just brilliantly shows the impact. An efficient person, they get the job done well, quickly, no fuss. An inefficient person, on the other hand, wastes resources. That one little prefix, in, signals a massive difference in their performance and how people see them. Now, of course, in YNL isn't the only prefix out there. We also use others like ill, un, and ear, and it often depends on the first letter of the word. So, for example, logical becomes illogical. Supportive becomes unsupportive. The key here is just to recognize that positive root word and see how the prefix flips its meaning on its head. So we've pretty much mastered adjectives to describe people. Now it's time for the final piece of the puzzle, turning those adjectives into nouns so we can name the quality itself. So here's the key difference, right? An adjective like responsible describes a person, but the noun responsibility names the abstract quality or idea that person has. We use them differently in a sentence, and getting this right is honestly a huge part of sounding professional. And here you can see the complete word family, just like in our source table. We have the positive adjective, flexible, the negative, inflexible, and then the noun, flexibility. Once you start to see this pattern, you can apply it to dozens and dozens of words. Let's look at a super practical example. We use the noun consideration to talk about the quality itself. You might say, we need to show more consideration. But we use the adjective considerate to describe a person. He is a considerate person. That little distinction is absolutely key to sounding fluent and professional. Okay, let's bring this all home. You now have a really powerful, repeatable system for building your professional vocabulary. This is your personal toolkit. It really is a simple 3-step process. Number 1, start with a positive trait you already know, like organized. 2, add the correct prefix to make it negative. In this case, it's disorganized. And 3, find the noun to talk about the quality itself, organization. You can do this over and over again.
So what are the big takeaways here? Well, first off, always remember that the right word really matters. Second, use those prefixes as your secret weapon for forming negative adjectives. Third, make sure you've got that difference down between describing a person with an adjective and naming a quality with a noun. And finally, just remember, this isn't some list of words to memorize. It's a powerful pattern you can use to unlock so much more vocabulary.
And I'll leave you with this to chew on. Using all the vocabulary we've just explored, which positive quality do you think is absolutely essential for a leader today? And on the flip side, which negative trait do you think could do the most damage? You know, the answer says a lot about what we value in leadership right now. Think about it.